The monsters are very important to Guillermo. It's a love of his since childhood, and so he wanted to make sure that every one of these monsters had their own personality and things that kind of came out of the design. Hal really had to spend some time kind of thinking through, well, what is Leatherback's personality and how does he react to this and this, and to really give them all distinct individual personalities.
It was a unique opportunity to create a zoo full of creatures that were gigantic and monstrous and deadly. It could never really exist in real life.
We start with Knife Head with this big blade head, and I was really tickled. That was the first design I saw in our first meeting with Guillermo, and I liked that because I was a big Kaiju movie fan as a kid.
Extremely deadly Category 3 Kaiju, which is the Kaiju have categories of power and threat level. It says how deadly they are.
Onibaba is a huge crab, and we see that in the Tokyo flashback that Mako has. And so that was really fun to figure out because it was so different from all the others. And it's moving on these big crab legs, and it's got these huge claws and smashing through buildings.
It's got these gigantic spikes and protruding horns, which are designed to destroy entire cities as it moves through them.
And it has a very complex face with tons of little moving parts that open up.
Otachi is one of the most deadly and versatile. It's the raptor of or dragon of the Kaiju, if you will.
Its mouth opens sort of normally, but then the jaw can split open to reveal this sort of big spiny gland in its mouth that spits an acid bile, and there's a big throat sac that engorges right before it's going to spit.
It also, as a surprise, has these hidden wings which can erupt out, and it's the only one that we see flying in the movie.
Then we had Leatherback, who we see next, and it's very much a gorilla in terms of form. It's reptilian, but in terms of its proportions and the way it moves and the shapes of its, the length of its arm and all that, we really look to gorillas as kind of our inspiration for it.
It's the King Kong brawler wrestler. It's the heavyweight with the overhanging belly, extremely powerful, and it has an EM pulse, an electronic pulse generator on its back that works sort of like a flintlock. And when it slams this thing down on its back, it sends out a signal that takes out entire electrical systems of Jaegers and surrounding cities.
Figuring out the scale and the speed at which to move both the Kaijus and the Jaegers was difficult.
What makes the creatures feel really big is the amazing animation of Hal Hickel and his team and the way they move to make you believe that they're really big. The simulation of James Tooley and his team to make the flesh feel like it's jiggling and moving, and the incredible compositing and rendering to make you see layers of water and mist and all the particles to make it seem really big.